Here is our first view and impression of Fathom Blue, and let's just say I have some interesting opinions on it. Before we get this video started, we want to give our channel sponsor a shout out, Onyx Off-Road. We have been using the heck out of them all summer, no matter where we are, whether it's down in Daytona, Ocala, Tennessee, all over the place. We are using them and absolutely love them. And if you guys want to take your final edition 392 out and be sure you know where you're at and what trail you're on, use Onyx Off-Road. They've got excellent trail reports, photos, even some slides that'll show you exactly how difficult the trail is and keep you grounded, and also know your location when you don't have service. If you guys want to have a special discount for Onyx Off-Road, save a little bit of cash and help support your boys, be sure to use the coupon found right down below. Without further ado, let's get into this one and talk about this brand new color. Well guys, we finally had a chance to check it out, Fathom Blue, in person. Now we'll backtrack before I talk about this color a little bit, because we actually saw this as an Easter Jeep Safari concept. I think that was last year, because they didn't bring too many this year. Maybe it was this year. Ryan will have to pull up the...
Year, yeah.
Was it last year? Okay. It came out as Harbor Blue. And both you and I, you actually said if they came out with that color, you'd order it right away. It was a beautiful blue color. It almost reminded me, Ryan, of the Patriot Blue. Patriot Blue comes in the Rams, the 2500s, the 1500s, but with a little bit more sparkle, a little bit more flake in the paint. It had some tannish brown, kind of some mahogany interior pieces on that, and that Jeep looked incredible. Well, fast forward about a year ahead, and we've got a new color. Fathom Blue came out... What was that, like 5 months ago? It said the Fathom Blue edition was going to come out, and then like nothing was dropped, and then it finally was like, we'll put it on the final edition and you guys can order it. But as we had a chance to check it out in person, the first way we got to see it was inside. So inside of kind of, you know, not too many lights on it. The first thing I said was, that's a black 392. I mean, I'll be God's honest truth with you guys. That's what Ryan and I both said, was that's a black 392. And as you looked around it, yeah, there was a little bit of blue, but honestly, it was a very dark Jeep. First thing I thought was, man, this thing in the shade looks very much like a black vehicle. And if you like that kind of color, if you're into that on your Jeep, that's perfect for you. It was very dark. However, when I pulled out my phone, I put on the flashlight and looked, and there was a lot of flake when I first put it on the hardtop. So we decided, let's pull this thing out because we need to see what it looks like in person. Ryan, your Jeep and my Jeep, both behind us, look completely different in the sunlight versus the way that they do in the shade. And I think in a color like this, it really makes the difference whether it's in the sun or whether it's in the darkness. So as we pulled it outside, the color started to come out quite a bit. We pulled this thing out in the sun and we had a beautiful blue sky with barely a cloud in sight. So this is maximum brightness. Ryan, you've even got shots on your phone, on your camera with different lenses. We wanted to try and give you a realistic first-person point of view of checking out this color. And in the sun, it definitely brightened up. It had a ton of flake. However, it had a couple different colors of flake that we weren't anticipating. I would say that instead of a blue color, Fathom Blue almost looks like an indigo. Ryan, you'd probably agree. Maybe some purples in there,
yeah,
some dark blues, maybe some lighter flake that just accentuate the blue a little bit, but there was definitely a lot of purple going on, especially at different angles. I'm sure you can pull up a ton of really cool shots here, Ryan, but as I looked at it, I thought the color would be more robust. I'll be real with you. I thought the color was going to really pop. Like when this bikini's cleaned up in the sun, this thing pops out at you. This was a dark Jeep. I mean, it was very, very dark in color. And while it had some purple or some indigo coming out of it, at the body lines where you have stock fenders and some of these corners in here, it almost got lost, yeah, Ryan, with the color. It looks very dark. I don't know how many more times I can say that, but I wanted to give the opinion of what we saw when it first came out, because you guys know that we're first to drop a lot of colors. Back about 2 years ago, we were the first to have Purple Rain on camera, and that color, if you were looking for purple, that was purple. Yeah. This as a blue, it's like a bluish indigo, a very subtle color. Yeah. Maybe if being bright and flashy isn't your thing, and you want a 392, that's a pretty cool color for you because it does have some of that vibrance. And I do think, Ryan, maybe if they got it ceramic coated and really polished it, might look even better, but it's a dark color. And that was kind of my first thing when I saw it. Inside, I said, this is dark. And then when it pulled outside, my opinion didn't really change at all. I thought it was going to be just really out there, you know?
The bronze accents looked really nice on it.
The bronze popped. The bronze definitely popped. However, you know, we were talking about getting parts matched from Distinction Applied, what they would have to do to match it. The black kind of fades away in that. So like I was looking at the door handles because, you know, I'm used to having color match ones like on mine, but I don't think it would pop as much on that color because it is such a deep color. I do think it needs some help in ceramic coat. I think that would make that sparkle and that flake really come out of there. And I got to tell you, I am in love with the black interior on the 392 first final edition. Not the final edition, just the final edition there. But this thing had a whopping MSRP of, Ryan, put it up on the screen, 102? 102, 103, so man, they're getting up there in price. So one thing we want to kind of talk about is colors or vehicles that we think were similar to it. If you guys remember, I think that was like they did on the Fox Body and they did on the Cobra in the late 90s. It was like the Mistachrome, I think that was what it was called. That's like purple, green, blue, all mixed into one. It has a ton of flakes, so every angle looks different on it. It reminded us of that, so it was a very deep color, and in the light it changed. However, it didn't have any green or turquoise flake like that did. So as you walked around it, Ryan, it looked like two different colors on the vehicle. I mean, as the flakes changed and as the sun hit it. But I was a bit disappointed that it didn't look just like the Harbor Blue. I'll be real with you guys. We walked by a Chrysler Pacifica the other week. My dad and I, we were out to get lunch, and that was that Harbor Blue, or supposed to be the same paint code. For me, it looked brighter. I don't know what you think, Ryan, but I think the Chrysler Pacifica actually looked more like the Harbor Blue, and this looked to us darker in person. So it's perfect for someone that wants that subtle look, but also wants a little bit of color in there, a very little bit of that dark blue, that purple, the indigo color. Obviously, the pros is that this is a unique color. You know, you're not going to get this on any other vehicle, and I think if you're looking for that subtle hint of flake, that hint of color on your 392, it looked absolutely fantastic with the bronze accents. I think those two color combos on this made it a very, very nice vehicle, a very subtle vehicle that packs a lot of punch when it's in some good lighting, but it's also very subdued when you're driving down the road. Ryan and I actually talked, if you would see one kind of driving down the highway, you might mistake it as black right away, and depending on the road lighting or the lighting outside, it probably would look black right away. Cons of this color, right away it only comes on the 392. Man, I wish that would be on the Sport. I think it would do a fantastic job on even the Gladiator, and it would be kind of neat to see it on some different trim pieces. The other con is that blues like that and a black color on a vehicle, they get dirty very, very quickly. My mom has one of those like tri-coat blacks on her Ram with a lot of flake. It gets filthy without even looking at the thing. It is a very hard color to keep clean. And on a Jeep, if you're riding around in the dust, in the mud, in the sand, it's going to get dirty pretty quickly. That's probably why a color like that isn't so common on a vehicle that's supposed to be, you know, taken off-road. I think it's going to look dirty unless you clean that thing up pretty good. As we close this one out, guys, I just wanted to kind of talk about the colors as a whole. Obviously, this is the most subjective topic when you look at it. That's why when you walk into Lowe's, there are about 2 million paint swatches, because everyone likes a different color. We wanted to give you our opinions on it and show it to you in both the indoor lighting, the outdoor lighting, some iPhone shots, and some professional camera shots with what we're used to, so you could get a good grasp on what this looks like sitting at home in your living room or watching it on your phone. Honestly, I think it'll be a great color if you're looking to accent it in the future. I could only imagine if that was on this Jeep here with some custom lettering done and the way I've done the fenders and some trim, you could really make that base color pop a little bit more by giving it some accents on the outside. It's much like a neutral color to where you can accent it with any color you'd like. However, this one starts with kind of some more flake in the base coat of it. It's still in the same family as Harbor Blue. So Harbor Blue is a nautical term, as well as Fathom. That's a length in the nautical term. So I think it's in the same family. However, it's not the exact same color that we were expecting. That's not a bad thing. You know, if you like this color, I think it's a fantastic idea to pick it up, because we're excited to see a new color. Having a new color on the Wrangler means that they're thinking of some new things. They're releasing new colors. And while it's on the 392 now, I do hope that it comes out for base models, that it comes out for Gladiator models. That would be awesome to see in the future. Ryan actually just said off camera, if that color was available, even the Fathom, he probably would have picked it up in a two-door Sport. Ryan, I'm in agreement with you. I think that color, though, with the tan top and tan interior, that would look neat. It reminds me of like a Columbia edition or a... They actually had a Patriot Edition TJ that was in a very similar color to that with a lot of tan, and that gives you more of a way to accent it on the inside. So whether you love it or you hate it, CRED is here to give you the first look at some of these brand new trims and some of these new colors. If you guys have any comments about it, or tell me some colors that you think would look good accented with it, we'd love to hear about it down below. We're just excited to bring this to you guys because it's been a color that has been talked about for quite some time, and we finally got to check it out in person. Now, until next time though, my name is Matt, Ryan's behind the camera, and we want you to get out there and earn yours.